and then on mine. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 38 of On the Back Hash, where we talk about all things or most things or some things, or a little bit of stuff. Pageantry arts. Here with me today is Mr. Chris Klein and Mr. William Gray the 40th.
Oh, jeez, that is a lineage.
He is from his lineage goes all the way back to the Zimbabwe tribe of Africa.
Stupid.
That's what happens when I have a day off. I don't have shit to do.
We sit and think too much on our days off.
So, how's everybody doing today?
Good, man.
Good.
7 days left. 6 days left of school.
Yeah, 7 wake-ups.
Yep.
That's how I think about it. I don't mind
Yep.
to school. I just don't like getting up to go teach school.
Yes.
I wish it was later. I wish it started at like 10. So
That would be fantastic, but then we'd be there till like 6, and I don't think I could do that.
yeah. So today, just gonna basically kind of talk a little bit about some more of the shows that have been released. They're slowly starting to trickle in, so we're starting to see these shows start to release, and different people are doing different stuff with their releases, whether it's paywalling it or putting it on ESPN or sending it by smoke signal. I don't know.
Weird looking videos that make you think what is going on. Yeah, that whole thing. Yeah.
So we're going to kind of cover those. Maybe do a little speculation. Zach is not with us today. He is returning from a trip with some children.
Hotlanta.
From Hotlanta, yeah. So he won't be with us, but somebody I'm sure will channel his inner pettiness and say something. So we're just going to kind of jump into it. We are pulling these all from the Flow Marching website. They have a running list of the 2023 DCI announcements. And the article is what I just said. So you can go to Flow Marching and find it there. And as shows are being released in repertoire and all the good stuff, they'll update their page. And it's on alphabetical order. So you can find your favorite core really, really fast.
So if you go to our Twitter page, I think we've shared it a few times on there if you need a quick look for it.
So we're going to start with the first one that is in alphabetical order that's been released recently, and that is Jersey Surf, with their show being called Express Yourself. No rep yet, no program information yet. It's giving me the 80s vibes.
That's literally what I was going to say.
80s, 90s, yeah.
I want them to put a whole skating ring out there.
Have a gum wall before you enter the field.
You associate skating with the 80s?
I know when I was in the 90s. I know I'm like a lot younger than you guys, not that much though. But I mean, skating was what it was all about.
Yeah, you ain't never seen the movie Marmaduke?
Yep.
You seen the what?
I'll take that as a no.
It was kind of like you said Marmaduke, and I was like, is that what you said?
Say what?
What movie did you say?
Marmaduke.
I don't know. That's a new one on me. So, but Jersey Surf is known for doing fun shows and shows to get the crowd into it and things of that nature. So, this honestly seems right up their alley for them.
I'll say Jersey Surf is always a breath of fresh air to any contest they go to, because I mean they don't they compete and they're I think they want to do well, and they always do well, but like they're going to have fun doing it the way they want to do it, and that's always fun to have, and it's always a good crowd you know, show always. So probably be the same as what we always see with them.
Cool. So moving on, we have next the Mandarins doing their show entitled Centerman. They do have some rep included. Songs include Senator Man by Nina Simone, Take Me to Church by Hosier. Hope I'm saying that right. Smile by Nat King Cole. Swing Symphony, the fourth movement by Wynton Marsalis. Presage by Universe Zero. And I'm Tired by Lambert and Zendaya. I'll be interested to see how they put all that rep together, because that's an eclectic sound palette they got traveling there.
Yeah, we said that with who did we say that with last week? I think we said that with Seattle. I think, like how they're going to put all that stuff together, almost kind of similar type sounding show. Except, I mean, it'll be interesting. Their teaser video was something else. I know that.
I've seen that. I always get excited with anything with Marcellus in it, so they'll have me sold on that. But some very interesting rep from them. And I don't listen to a lot of pop stuff, so like like I know Zendaya is a thing, but I don't think I've heard any of her music.
Well, Labyrinth is a house music person, right? Or am I wrong on that?
That is outside of my wheelhouse.
Look it up real quick.
I want to say so.
Say what?
I was saying I wanted to say so.
Oh. But yeah. So, but when you do go eclectic like that, it's a lot easier to tell the story because you can, or whatever it is, because you can tailor make the song or push the song towards what you're doing. So, I think that will help with that. I need to go look at that trailer at some point. So I figured out. Keep pushing right along here. Phantom Regiment announced their show Exogenesis. No rep has been announced, but I have seen things talking about along the lines of we're going to play things from artists or song styles that you didn't think Phantom would ever play. And I think with this type of show, you kind of have to. There is a description on their Instagram. I think I saw it on Instagram, or it was a post where I think they had like a reveal thing, whether it was online or somehow, and the guy talked about what the show meant, along with a uniform reveal for the group. So it looks like, from a musical standpoint, they may be departing classical music a little bit, which is,
Yeah, I mean, if it's all put together well, I'm all for stuff like that. I'm all for change and stuff like that, and groups that ain't scared to do it. It's okay, ain't nothing wrong with keeping traditions and all that kind of jazz and stuff. But at some point, man, like for real.
Well, I think that's what hurt them, a few years ago, was that they were stuck in that rut of, the classical storytelling kind of vibe, and it started hurting them. And last year, you saw them break out of that, and they had a really, I think, good comeback year. So I think it's good that they are, like you said, are trying to break away from that a little bit and and trying something new.
It's going to
They
be
sound
hard. It's going to be hard just nowadays with the advancement of so many things to win with straight up classical stuff. It really is, and that's why you're seeing cores more and more kind of stray away from that, unless it's just like an iconic tune that allows them to get away with what they're trying to do. Um,
You said it had a description on
there was
Insta.
I saw an Instagram post. It was either from them or from DCI with them, and a guy was they had it was like a 3 panel thing. And in the middle panel was a dude just talking about the show. The first panel was, I think, the show title, and then the third one was like the uniforms.
Oh, that's all. They didn't really go into the concept.
No, they let it was like a 10 to 15 second clip about what the concept was, and like it's a basically I think it was along the lines, and I'm paraphrasing a whole lot, of basically starting a new civilization somewhere.
Yeah, because I looked it up and it's saying something about like a hypothesis about life originating somewhere else in the universe and then spreading to Earth or something like that.
Isn't that Promethean? Remember that movie?
Prometheus?
Prometheus. There we go. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Prometheus, yeah.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen that movie, but
I mean that movie's dope, but it's basically kind of exactly
yeah.
I mean that
what
might
I
be
think
what
of,
it is,
which
I mean,
would be pretty dope if they got the idea from that.
Because groups will do that, but they won't say they did it until
Yeah.
like on, and they're like, "Oh, this is."
Yeah.
Animal Farm, but it's not Animal Farm.
I will tell you straight up, yes, this is exactly where I got it from. Saw a sign on the road.
I will say, add to this show, I don't know if I'm feeling the uniform. It's going to have to grow on me.
Because I know we talked about it. I want to see the uniform on the field. I don't have a problem in general with the uniform. It reminds me of some other cores past uniforms, but I think, what is it? Do they have a shaker one?
Yeah, it's like that weird. Like I'm looking at it right now. It's like it's a wrap, and then it has the point. It looks like the Phantom logo up to a little bit.
I think with the concept, it may make sense if the definition, like what exogenesis, whatever, if that's what it actually is, something from a different world or whatever, that could make sense. But yeah, I'm like, let me see it on the field with everything, hear it all, and then we go from there.
Now the guard uniforms, those are fire. I like those. They have that green teal looking color in them. Those are nice, but the core.
So as far as World Class is concerned, that's it. We did get a teaser photo from Blue Devils.
Teaser video.
There's video too.
Yeah.
Of it, and that doesn't help anything. But Chris, you said you looked up a quote. If you want to talk about that.
So on the video, their quote, it says, "How small a thought it takes to fill a whole life." And I am going to butcher this name. I don't know how to say it, but Ludwig Wittgenstein, one of those. And I literally just, the good old power of Google, just copied that and pasted it in and looked it up. And it is linked to a composer named Stephen Reich. I think that's how you're going to say it. Doing a piece called Proverb. Kind of, it's a minimalist music is what it's called, like the genre that he does or something like that. But looks like a lot of like, it says that the piece has like sung by 5 voices with vibraphones and organs, so it's a full-on orchestra piece. with choir. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. But um, that could be like their focus on like who they're playing around. I guess is that piece. As well as interesting too is that the piece is 14 minutes long, which is very interesting. When you think about DCI, I don't
Haven't
think they're
they
going to play
done
the whole piece.
haven't they done One Piece shows before? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
Mm,
Like they just did like what am I trying to say? Like the show
they
like
will
this
they will typically, if they do something like that, they will use a piece as the main source material, but they will use other material to supplement it throughout.
okay.
So they'll do kind of a mix and match of stuff. Um, I would with Reich, you could probably do something along those lines where you can take a few of the themes throughout the piece. Because if he's a minimalistic um, composer, he will have a lot of while it's minimalistic, there'll be several different themes that
Mm.
you can use that he'll use throughout the piece. That's how you get to a 14-minute piece. So
So I'm just briefly like listening to that piece proverb. I'm just kind of jumping in and out, and they're not joking when it's literally like 5 people and there's a vibraphone underneath them. That's all it is. So,
and that's
um,
that's esoteric enough that Blue Devils
yep.
would do some mess like that just to um, so it is probably going to be, you'll probably hear some of the main themes from that, but it's going to be mixed in with some other stuff. I'm pretty sure. I'd be willing to bet.
That piece was scored in 1995. If you wanted
Yeah,
to know.
Reich's been out for a while.
Yep. So
Um, so yeah, um, and the art, the photo, you know, I don't want to say it's Picasso because it's not angular, but I'm pretty sure I might I might snap this to a friend of mine that's an art teacher and figure out what style of art or what era of art this is from, because it's probably a connection between that and the video and the quote. I'm sure.
oh yeah, 100%.
It's kind
I'll
of giving
every time I
interpretive
think about
dance.
yeah. Well, like it's very like raw looking. Like if you watch the video, like it's just very exposed. You see like the studio. It's not just the backdrop and the person in the frame, and like then that's also framed through a box, and then the it's weird. Like it's very out there, very BD, um, kind of going on there.
So, you know,
Y'all remember
where
that video they did for COVID, and like everyone was like,
We all try
"What
to forget that.
in the hell?"
BD knew they was wrong when they did that.
Like I think people literally watch it for like 10 seconds. Were like, "Yeah, I know, we're done." So
it was different to say the least. That. And then they was like, "Oh yeah, we can really play. We just messed
Yeah.
with
suck.
We just playing with y'all.
it." So yeah, so I think that's all we know right now from World Class in that. Um,
I will say before we move on to open, we were in our message. We were talking about what core was it that has the episode about the um, about what their show concept was. You remember we were
oh,
talking about that? Someone put out an episode about or a video out about like it's like the first episode of something about their show. But I don't know where that
uh,
is.
I have no idea what you're.
Boston Crusaders. That's who it was. There we go. Inside the Design. That's what it is. Um, so they have a video out that based on like what they're doing about White Whale. Sorry, I was like, I know we we were talking about it. Um, yeah, Boston's doing a little series on YouTube, on their YouTube, about their design of their show, which is exactly what we said last week we would love to see happening. You know, get behind the scenes of how they come up with these things, and Boston's doing that. So,
Yeah, I had to scroll back. I was like,
yeah, it's a ways back. That's what I was like. I can't remember when we said it or when it was.
so, all right. Open classes got in the mix though, so and there's been a few of those. So, starting with the Guardians, their show titles and called "I Know the End." Some pretty interesting art show poster for that. Repertoire includes Sound and Color by the Alabama Shakes, Ex Adua, or I Own the Night by Christian Scott, aka Chief Jean Atunde Ajuda.
Nice.
I practiced.
It sounded like it because I heard all syllables.
Yeah, I got every bit of that. Yep.
It's like fantastic.
That's all I got. I'm done for the year though.
He's gonna
Everything
butcher the next name
right. Everything in its right place by Radayo Hiad.
Radayo Heed. Radayo Heed.
Radiohead, which people probably know that tune. Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance.
Oh gosh, every emo kid in DCI is gonna freak out. They hear the piano for that one. It's over.
And then some original music by who I'm assuming some staff members on that. Usually, if you see original music, it's probably the percussion break that they're gonna do. So yeah, that's a very interesting look for them. So we'll see how that goes.
It does sound interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For some, I need to look up some of this related too. Impulse is doing Maverick.
Right. I want a whole plane to land in the stadium.
Yeah, just going to land the plane in
the stadium. I don't care how you do it.
Hey, I think I know an indoor group that has a plane you can use.
That's true. That's true.
So, if you hadn't figured that out, they're doing Top Gun. Some music from Top Gun.
Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick.
Gotta get that specific.
Yeah, I've never seen either one of them. Doc Star, You're Where You Belong. I Ain't Worried. The Man, The Legend, and Hold My Hand, including music from Hans Zimmerman, Harold Faltermeyer, One Republic, and Lady Gaga.
It's a lot of mixing.
We are all over the place.
It's a lot of mixing, boy.
Well, Lady Gaga did the song for Maverick, didn't she?
Did she?
Like the main song? I'm pretty sure. I think Hans Zimmer. No, maybe, I don't know. I want to say is I don't see Kenny Loggins on here in Danger Zone, and if you're going to do Top Gun anything and you don't have that song on your repertoire, you're really missing out on an opportunity here.
Was that song in Maverick?
Oh yeah, very first song. I looked at the first time I went with. I said I can literally walk out this theater now and be happy because that song came.
It's one of those things like if you don't hear it in the beginning, it's like over. It's like, what are you doing? It's like when you hear the Avengers theme at the end of Endgame.
Yeah.
When they all come back. It's like, yeah, here we go.
I have to take your word for it. For the audience members, I am not a big movie connoisseur. I will watch certain movies, but if it's popular, I probably haven't seen it.
And then on the opposite spectrum, I'm a cinephile, and then Will's even further past me when it comes to stuff. So,
because I was sitting here thinking, I was like, it's not Mama, it's Xanadu.
Xanadu, yes.
I kept saying Mamadou because I was like, it's something do, and I was like, no, it's Xanadu. That's the skating movie I was talking about. It's from the 80s.
Right.
Isn't that the one that's the Xanadu 2 Electric Boogaloo or something like that too?
Mm-mm.
Or what's that? What's the Electric Boogaloo?
That's Breaking.
That's Breaking.
Breaking. That's it. There we go.
Yeah.
I have that entire collection.
Man. See, somebody needs to do something like that. All right, moving on.
Listen, okay, Cedric. Okay.
I'm not. I ain't got the money.
T-Bone.
We are balling on a budget. So our next, the next group is the Raiders. The Raiders. But not the Las
All
Vegas
right.
Raiders. I need to see if I can stop by that stadium when I go to Vegas. Anyway, um, their show is called Circus Reverses. This looks
Reverses.
interesting. I
Yes.
um,
Desert Circus.
so their repertoire is Blazes and Thunder, A Trip to the Circus, Clowns, The Ensign.
What?
Oh, I get it. I get it. Okay, I'm sold. And then from now on, from The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
Program,
They're once you read their program information, it makes sense.
yeah. Um, a deserted circus once left to ruin finds a way to reverse time and return to its former glory. Step right up and come inside for the Earth on show greatest. Okay. I like little clever cheeky stuff like that.
Yeah. It should be okay. It should be pretty good. I hope they do it good. And I hope they play even better. Cause something like this, it's like what we call like a breath of fresh air, like kind of show. It's like we need this, you
Yeah.
know.
So yeah, that's clever.
Good,
I
good
like
job, Raiders, man.
I'm already
Y'all do work, man. Y'all
I ain't
do
seen
work.
the note yet. I ain't heard a note. Ain't seen the
Not
note.
nothing. I'm here for it.
I'm ready.
Semifinals.
And then Southwind is doing their show called Cowboys of the Sky. No rapper program information out yet, but I don't know. I might be able to call somebody and see if they can give me a little sneaky peeky into a rep at least. But interesting. We got a skyline going on.
They're gonna take that scapulin from Troopers.
Man,
Hey, repurpose it, man. It'll work.
um, it just gives me Great Gatsby vibes. I don't know
I was
why.
say it's a roaring 20s is what I was gonna. That's what I was gonna say. Like that's skyscrapers and the men who worked on them and all that stuff. So
So
I think it'd be cool.
Like, now I'm really wondering if they're really gonna do that.
yeah, see,
Well, not the prop from Troopers, but have something similar out there like that to represent.
I mean from a visual and drill standpoint, that's the next step is, you know, continue to explore and going to vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so very well could see that. And then last one we have. Oh, actually, we got two more. This one of them's not on the page. It's Spartans performing their show Surreal. Some pretty trippy artwork here. Kind of giving me, I don't want to say Cabaret Voltaire vibes, but like, you know, if you see the artwork, you'll see some ribbons and then you'll see a random spoon and then, you know, almost a melting clock, stuff like that. Um, so
Shows
probably
like this kind of. I was gonna say like shows like this kind of leaves you wide open to just kind of do what you want.
yeah, yeah. Um, so the rep includes Zambra by Ojos de Brujos, Redemption of the Pain Endured by the Deer Hunter, Fables of Fabus by Mingus. Is that Charles Mingus or just Mingus?
Yeah, Charles Mingus. Yep.
Okay. That should be cool because I like his stuff. Playing God by Polyphia and Tragic Kingdom by No Doubt. You get all of this esoteric stuff and then you get No Doubt. Like, what?
I seen that.
Listen, Deer Hunter. So
In my
Deer
head,
Hunter, I have like downloaded their albums on Spotify from a recommendation off somebody. They are good. They're rock. They're a rock band. but like their albums are like story based. So like you have to start at you can't like shuffle them. Like you have to start at the beginning to go through it all or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing the name of this show, I mean, this fits right in the vibe of Deer Hunter. So
Did you hear that too, Will?
Yeah, I
Okay.
saw your face said I was like, I know I
Oh, okay.
what I say?
You went into like a third dimension for some reason.
You
Oh, did
really
I?
did.
Oh,
Yeah, something.
It's like, oh,
I went into the Matrix. Yes,
that's new.
You turned into the picture of Surreal.
I did. I
Yeah.
did.
The program information reads bizarre, illogical, contradicting, strange, unfamiliar, intriguing. Incorporating the visual palette of surrealism. Oh, okay, so that's where the artwork comes from. And the musical canvas of Ojos de Brujo. Bleh. See, I wasted it on that first one.
You only get one shot.
Yeah. The Deer Hunter, Polyphobia. Charles Mingus, and no doubt the Spartans explore the techniques of surrealist artists, and the unbridled imagination of the subconscious in their 2023 program, Surreal. See, I hope they do it well, but this sounds like some blue coat stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I give you that.
Like, and maybe, I mean, we know Blue Devils can probably, because they've done, they did Cabaret Voltaire, and they probably could have used that very same program information to describe that show as well. But
Well, you want to
I'm
go ahead and say what you said, or I think it was, I don't know, said or will, what we said before we started about all these shows in the open class?
Oh, that the open class shows seem more intriguing than the world ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
No,
feels like
no,
they're trying. Isn't that
it-
weird? Like, I feel like they're just trying something.
well, I think, just like we kind of talked about in the WGI world, I think people are starting to smell like, for DCI would be, we can make semis. Like,
Yeah.
if we put a good enough product out of there, we can make semis. I'd have to go back and check to see how many open class groups were in semis last year, but I want to say it was about 5.
I
it
think you're
wasn't a lot.
close.
It might have been more than that because they take
Because
25
Genesis,
or 17. Is it 17?
They take, oh gosh. Hold on. I'm doing some research right now.
Okay. But yeah, but no, so I think with that being said, as an open class group, I think that's your ultimate goal. Like, yeah, of course you want to win open class, but at the same time, if you can get to perform on Friday night,
you said semis,
yes,
25.
Yeah,
they take
25.
25 in the semis.
So yeah, BDB, Spartans, Genesis,
Six made it. Yeah.
6, okay.
Vanguard.
Well, was Genesis, is Genesis open or world last year?
Genesis World.
Okay, so 5 then. Right?
Genesis has been world for a while.
Yeah, so 5. Yeah, 5.
Oh, so I nailed it. Sweet. But yeah, and and now you got two spots open, 2 more spots open because SEV and SEV cadets aren't coming out. So those spots got to go to somebody. And the international group, if the Calgary Stampede decide to come back out, or Jubal, or if somebody paid Amachi $1 million to come out. If I had it, I'd watch it. I'd be like, come on, bring your ass.
Actually might win.
Bring your ass. They
I
wouldn't
really feel
let
like they would
No,
win.
the time that when they come, every time they come over, everyone's got to be like, oh, crap, dude. Because they know that they're about to do something.
Well, you ain't traveling that far to get your ass whipped.
No.
You're just not. Well, okay, I say that. Some groups do. But more often not, they're not. And then so we got one more open class group. They're not on the page. But I think they're a fan favorite of everybody. The Blue Devil C is getting ready for their 2023 program entitled BD Safari.
Love it.
That's
It's so it's
clever.
so cute. Um, Kind of read a little bit about it. Um, it says get ready to take a walk on the wild side this summer with Blue Devil C and their presentation of BD Safari. It says the jungle themed drum corps show will transport you to an exotic faraway land where lions, tigers, zebras, and elephants roam free. From the thrill of the hunt to the majestic beauty of nature, excitement lurks around every corner, and BDC is ready to serve as your guide on this unforgettable journey. So, um,
Let's go.
I want a whole elephant out there.
it says this year's show opens with a bang as Guns N' Roses' classic rock anthem "Welcome to the Jungle" sets the tone for our adventure ahead. As the music builds, we are surrounded by sounds of the wild and soon the familiar rhythms of Toto's Africa
Man,
begins to
let's
paint
go.
a picture of our first night underneath the starry jungle sky. And of course, no safari adventure would be complete without a showdown. And the Blue Devil Sea is ready to deliver with their rendition of Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. The higher energy classic leads us into our finale featuring Katy Perry's War with its upbeat tempo and uplifting message. So there you go.
Love it, dude.
They're gonna win drums.
With a 98.62. 98.62.
Dang.
So yeah, that you got more information out of the BDC.
Right? All we get is
Right.
a damn quote and a woman in a box. And
And you get nothing from the B Corps.
yeah.
Not uh so yeah. Um I'm sure we'll probably hear something about BDB soon. Um and
I
such. But
mean,
yeah.
them and gold. We haven't heard anything from them either for open
Well,
class.
no, they're and there's still plenty of time. Like I said, I'm sure they'll be trickling out as we get closer to time, and um, people are saying things, but they're not giving all away their cards about some stuff, which is fine. I think that's good. I don't, it's not like we make fun of blue coats all the time about waiting until finals day to name their show. Uh, but there's nothing. I mean, it's not like if you announce your show early, and I'm bad about that too. And I'm in effing concert class, and I'm like, nope, nobody's gonna know what the show is until nope. God, these people are just weird. Um, but no, it's the open class shows have me intrigued. Not that the world class shows don't, but you know, it's just you're not used to seeing some of those concepts coming out of
Well,
open.
that's what I like about the open class is that a lot of these open class chords, they don't have, well, this sounds, I'm not saying this in a bad way, but they don't have an identity. Does that make sense? Like they're not
Yeah,
known for this or known for this. So like they don't feel like they have to like stay within that structure. And I think that helps grow the core because you can just I'll try that this year. I like this idea. Sometimes, I'm sure a lot of these world class cores have really cool out there ideas where it's like, well, that's not really what we're known for, and that kind of stuff. I feel like a lot of stuff gets shelved because of that, but open class, you don't have that issue because you don't have to worry about it. So that's why you get some really cool
Well,
shows out of that.
see. I think there's a two part to that, kind of. I think they have an identity. The problem is everyone is so stuck on world class because it's the same thing in indoor. It's like we're forgetting that these other groups and these different classes create something for themselves, but they won't get seen on a high level until they get to world. Because
I
that's
hear
the
that.
goal.
Yeah.
That's like the end game for everybody. Everybody wants to be world. So when you get world class, now all of a sudden people want to see you. Now it's like, oh, now we see this. This is the same way with Pulse Open, because you got to think about when Pulse was in Open, they were just an open class group. Now they're post open world. They have their own identity set apart from post world. So it's kind of one of those things because it's like, okay, well, Vanguard Cadets has an identity,
Yeah.
and BDB has one, and Gold definitely got one. So I think a lot of people, man, we're just so instantly attracted to World and those groups. We and they're the most widely searched group as well. Because some of these other groups, these overclass groups, man, you go on YouTube, you go search for them, you probably find barely any videos. You go and type BD, you gonna get a whole sheet with page to page turn to page turn. So it's kind of I think it's kind of one of those things. So, but it on that same level that you were given, it's great because they have the ability to multitask. Because this is something that we've talked about before. It's like groups like Mystique can do whatever they want, any kind of idea and genre, and they will fit it to their identity because they don't box themselves in with one specific style, and that hinders a lot of groups because when groups venture out from something that they don't normally do, people have an issue with it. Like
Mm-hmm.
scouts get that all the time. Well, oh my gosh, what is this, blah blah blah, and it's I would even say, well, Phantom about to do it this year, I think, and we just saw their show. Yeah, so who like what are they gonna sound like? And Blue Knight saying the same thing. It's like I enjoy groups that are not afraid, like you said, like not afraid to step out, because this is what you got to do. Don't keep yourself somewhere just because it's what it's working and it's what's gonna get you the medal. Because at some point, man, you gonna get boring, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And people gonna get tired of you. This is why people are tired of SCV's percussion winning all the time. People get tired of BD winning all the time. So it's like, and I've said it before. I said Boston Crusaders better watch out because people can get tired of that color guard winning all the time. So,
Well, I think on Boston, I think you're seeing some of that with their show. Like, and we don't know if it's going to be, we joke around if it's going to be edgy or not or what it's going to be, But like, you see some people chattering and just like, oh, this is not Boston. This is not Boston because they're, the last few years they've been known for like the darker kind of show,
I'm here for
and
this whale show.
I'm about it, man. I think it's going to be good. But just like a
Right.
breath of fresh air, them and Phantom, I
Yeah.
think, that's going to be a good thing. But then you got some chords that are leaning into some of the stuff like Mandarins. They found a formula, I think, of the edgier and kind of,
Well,
those kind of shows, and they're leaning into. So I mean, there's ones that are going opposite directions, and sometimes especially like if you're like a Mandarins, we do say we like not to be in a box or you box yourself in, but if you just crack that final spot, you want to make sure you stay there, so you're going to lean into it a little bit more, So it's always a balance between, I guess, those things.
well, you
Yeah.
talk about tradition and people not ready to change. Mandarins are the perfect example of that because before they cracked into the top 12, all of their shows, well, we can come up with a few examples of this. Mandarins being one. They are Mandarins is built on their very strong Asian and Pacific Islander um, um, clientele. Um, because you notice they dropped the Sacramento part of
Mm-hmm.
it, and now they're
Mm-hmm.
just Mandarins. But they have stepped away from that,
Mm-hmm.
and because of that, because you've opened yourself up out of doing an Asian influenced show, now you can do some other things, and now people who are more interested in your shows because like, oh, we don't have to do this, cool, and so they broke into the top 10. So while
Yeah.
they found their niche, it's not what they're traditionally were known for. Let's
Yeah.
take another
Yeah.
group, Troopers, Americana. That was them. They did all of the Americana Western themed shows. Now they're still doing that, but instead of it being, you know, they're going more for the theatrical parts of it and the more edgy side of it and thinking of it from that angle, and that has benefited them well. Um,
Mm.
Groups that it stifled, Pioneer, they had to keep to the Irish culture. It kind of struggled with them. Crossman tried to keep the jazz identity, but ultimately have just they're still trying to find the
Mm-hmm.
Texas version. So that Crossman is not the Crossman that we grew up with in the '90s and early
Oh no.
2000s playing that jazz stuff. Because that Crossman was still successful
Mm-hmm.
playing that stuff because they did it. That was their wheelhouse, and they were good at it. Uh, Scouts for the longest was known for in your face brass, loud, writing stuff, and their concepts started to mold, but I don't know if it's they lost their identity somewhere.
Mm.
I think when they tried to shift into the new era.
It was
And
right
that's
after
and that's
their anniversary show. I feel like after that they shifted and it did not.
a part of a part of it with obviously we seen it with Blue Knights this past season. The part of it, and I know said me and you and talked about it on Perk Talk whatever, but is the constant change of staff. So when groups are just constantly changing, you have no consistency. But like you said, scouts, man, like a lot of times people think they ain't got no identity if they not playing Malagang or something like that. It's like, why? Why does every show have to have that? And I'm a Scouts alum, and I'm sitting here saying it. It's like don't have to do that all the time. And the problem with a lot of groups is when they do steer away from their identity, and then they start losing, they freak out and think they have to go back to that. No, stay on this course. Go
Yeah.
ahead and lose a couple times. You're probably gonna lose for the next 4-5 years, probably. But you go. This is how you find something new. This is how you get away from having to do the same old, same old, same old, same old, and become one of those hated groups or whatever. Because
I thought
it's like you don't have it, or you're scared to do something outside the box.
I thought their last two shows, the one they just did this past season and the COVID year one with the lines,
Mm-hmm.
I really like those two shows, and
I
and
did
and
too.
I could watch those shows and I could still see scouts, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you can tailor some of that stuff because that's the thing about music, and there's so much of it out there
That's the
that ain't even
thing.
tapped yet.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we've talked about before too. Is like everybody's recycling. Oh well, they had success with it. So what? Make these judges and make these people, make the audience, make everybody hear something new. A lot of times, I know it's bad in indoor color art world too, but a lot of times in the color art world, man, they find these back of the woods, dark side of YouTube songs that ain't nobody named Mama ever heard of,
Mhm.
and they'll make something glorious out of it. But that it's like a pattern these days. These groups, that everybody is just scared, and we keep seeing and hearing the same songs over and over. This group doing this or same show ideas or whatever. And I thought we was never gonna get rid of Mars. Once Cavies played Mars, boy, the high school life people just ran it to the ground.
Well, yeah, I
Yep.
mean,
I was
you
like,
know,
Jesus,
well, they did it. They
please.
won DCI. I mean, we gonna do it with our
I
little
say,
15-piece band, and
God, dog.
no, you're not.
Can you play
Uh,
5/4? What is this? I don't know what's going on.
yeah,
Listen.
why are there 5 E's in this business?
But
But I mean, but you
and
think
I'm
about
picking on stuff, but I'm just saying.
well, but then you think about Cavies are going to the same way too. Once Saucedo left, they it
Mm-hmm.
took them a minute to try to find, and they've gone from this angle to here, and
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think they're still trying to find themselves. They play well, but they're trying to keep all of that other stuff, and sometimes you just get to a part of the show like I don't know what this has to do with anything else I just watched. But if you look at the groups that can manipulate themselves and be chameleons and do whatever they want to do, BD constantly top two,
Mm-hmm.
the top three, but really top two. Blue coats, they can really probably do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
They're just messing with people right now. They're just saying, okay, what can we do? Vanguard, it's in the name, Vanguard.
Yeah.
How did their last couple of shows kind of have the same feel? Yes, but that's because same composers, same designers.
Because I never thought they would do something like Babylon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that was like, who are y'all?
You
This
know,
is not Scheherazade Part
Well,
Three.
they
What
tested
is
it. They
happening
tested it
right
with
now?
Ouroboros, and then they knew that they could go because people enjoyed it, and so they went for it full blast of Babylon.
cadets, same thing. So like, there are groups that can take a left hand turn and go a complete direction and do fine because their design team is smart enough, or they built a design team that's eclectic enough in their thoughts to be able to manipulate a bunch of different ideas instead of saying, well, this formula got us here, so let's just keep this formula and let's just keep it rolling. Because as much as
And
we say all Bleed East shows are the same, they're not the
They're
same.
not.
They just sound the same because it's the same arrangers that have been
Yeah.
there forever.
Yeah.
we talk about identity too. Like it's okay to have like Vanguard where they did a few years of similar shows. Because they had something good going. It's the ones that like 7-8 years in a row is just like okay, let's try something different here. I think like Phantom is a perfect example of that. They found something that worked for them, and then they kept going for it, and then you just saw the city decline
But
happening,
you
and
run out of
then
options.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there's going to be a point, and like you said, there's so much untapped music out there that and that's what makes Blue Coats one of the chords that people enjoy listening to. That they're one of my favorite chords just to listen to because they're going out there and finding the stuff. You're just like, where are you finding this stuff? And it works, man. Like, I think about your all's concert season show this year. Going out there and finding, like, and you talk about how, like, that's all from like this idea that Blue Coat started of like just going out there and finding stuff, that no one really listens to and bring it to the forefront. So, you know,
It's too much stuff out there, and like we've said, you know, we see groups that are successful when they do this song or this artist or this composer, and it's just like, well, that group one not because of what they played, but how well they played it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we had a band in our state win state playing freaking Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It happened. It's not necessarily what you play; it's how you decide you want to play it. And some of that stuff is only meant for drum corps to play because they have the means to play all of that stuff. Um, you find what works for your kids, whatever age or level they're at, um, and get creative with some ideas. Because like half the time, I don't know what I'm going to call a show until like a month into the season. It's like we're going to play this stuff, and we'll think of a title later. And, so it's a lot to think about. It's okay to have an identity. I think we have an identity. Just in our concert world, I think we like to be different. We don't like to sound like anybody else. And I always told them, I said, if we play classical music, you best believe it's not going to be in common time. I can guarantee you that. We're going to do something to it to make it our own. And I think these open class groups doing some of the stuff that they're doing. They're not just recycling world class shows. They're coming up with their own ideas, and it's super cool. It's so I'm looking forward to some more things being open and stuff. Um, any closing thoughts?
I just really know what the hell BD's doing. That's
You
that's all I'm
probably
waiting
not
for.
that far. You probably got a couple of weeks for that because, like I said, I'm willing to bet they're going to announce BDB stuff before then.
Yeah.
For them.
We don't have a whole lot more announcement wise, I don't think.
Let's see, we got
Scouts.
Crown
Crown.
Scouts, Colts,
Colts.
um, Crossman, Blue Stars. We don't have rep for cavies yet.
There we,
Uh, no, we don't have rep for them yet.
Yeah, we have their
Your show title, no rep.
concept or whatever.
yeah, no rap.
Trying to think. Their Spirit, Pacific Crest, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's an obvious one that we're missing, but so about 4 or 5 more of them. And then quite a few of them, and they might not. The open class ones might not even do that whole deal. But, so yeah, so a few more left, and we know we're not going to get blue coats until 2026. So,
You still.
so there they are. Well, let us know who you're looking forward to seeing or who you're excited about seeing so far, just off of what information we had. Or we could play the game in the comments section. What is BD going to do this year? What's the title of their show? Some pretty cool ones on the Twitter. So if you got any cool ideas or hypotheses of what you think they're going to do, let us know in the comments below. For real. You can find us on Spotify. Nope, I did that wrong. Well, you can follow. You can follow us.
I mean, you can, yes.
And you can even watch us on Spotify now.
Yeah.
They have video stuff already. So Spotify, Anchor.fm, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So you can find us on all those areas. Hit the like your button or subscribe or any
rate
button.
and review.
Rate and review. I don't care if it's 1 star. It doesn't matter. But click all the buttons. Just click them all, and it'll be good. So yeah. So for Chris and Will and Zach, wherever he may be at this point in time, my name is Cedric. This has been episode 38 of On the Back Hash. Make sure you guys take care of each other. Be nice the rest of the school year. If you graduated from college, congratulations. If you're about to graduate from high school, congratulations. Teachers, hang in there. You're almost there. God. Okay. So anyway,
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah.
Yep.
From us, we are out.
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 Go Nuggets.